Stop what you're doing right now. I'm about to call you out on something, and it's going to hurt. You're spending thousands of dollars every month on leads, Facebook ads, Google ads, whatever. And then you're following up like an amateur, like someone who's never sold anything in their life. You call once, no answer. You call twice, voicemail. By day 3, you convince yourself they are not interested and you move on the next shiny object. Meanwhile, you're complaining that leads are too expensive, that Facebook doesn't work, that customers are cheap. But the real problem? You're leaving 80% of your money on the table because you follow up like it's 2005. What's really happening? When you're giving up after 2 pathetic attempts, there are contractors in market who understand something that you don't. Following 15, 20, even 30 times and they're stealing every single customer you quit on. You know why some contractors make $5,000 while others barely scrape by? It's not because they are better roofers. It's not because they have better trucks or fancier websites. It's because they don't quit on leads like a loser. So, if you're ready to stop making excuses and start making money, if you're tired of watching your competition book jobs with leads you give up on, then shut up and listen, because what I'm about to show you separates the winners from the losers in your market. And right now, you're acting like a loser, but that's about to change. Let me paint you a picture of what actually happens when you follow up manually and why it's literally killing your business. Monday morning, 9 a.m., fresh lead comes in. You're pumped. This could be a 15,000 roof replacement. You call immediately, which puts you ahead of 90% of contractors who wait hours. But guess what? No answer. Now, in your head, you're like, no big deal. I will try again later. That makes sense. They are probably at work, busy, phones on silent. But here's where it starts going wrong. Wednesday rolls around. You've been slammed, had an emergency repair Tuesday, completely forgot to call back. No, you're playing catch up. You dial again, straight to voicemail. So you leave a message that sounds exactly like every other desperate contractor. Hi, this is Mike from ABC Roofing. Just following up on your inquiry about roofing. Give me a call back when you get the chance. Thanks, bye. And you hang up, thinking you did your job. But listen, put yourself in their shoes for a second. They probably gotten 5 messages just like that this week. Nothing makes you stand out. You sound like everyone else who needs the work. But wait, it gets worse. Day 7 hits. Now you're starting to feel like that annoying guy who can't take a hint. So maybe you sent a text, hey, just checking in about your roofing project. Generic as hell, right? It basically screams, I have nothing new to offer for you. But please respond because I'm desperate. 2 weeks in, total silence. And here's where 99% of contractors make the biggest mistake of their entire business career. They assume this person just stopped needing a roof. Think about how insane that logic is. Someone was interested enough in fixing their roof to fill out your form, give you their personal contact information, but somehow in 40 days they just decided, you know what, I don't need a roof anymore. I will just let it leak. That doesn't make any sense. What actually happened is life got in the way. They got busy, maybe they are waiting for insurance, maybe they had an unexpected expense. But you wrote them off as dead. And while you're writing them off, do you know what the research shows about how people actually buy? This is going to blow your mind. Okay, so you might be thinking, come on man, this is just how business works. Some people buy, some don't. But what I'm about to show you is research that's going to completely flip your understanding of this game. Marketing researchers, the guys who study this stuff for a living, tracked thousands of sales across every industry you can imagine. And they discover something that most contractors will never learn. 80% of people, 8 out of every 10 leads you get, need at least 5 meaningful touches before they are ready to buy. Not 5 just checking in texts, not 5 generic voicemails, 5 actual valuable interactions. Think about your own buying behavior for a second. When's the last time you spent $10,000 on something immediately? Even when you needed it, you probably researched it, thought about it, got distracted by other stuff, came back to it weeks later. Your customers are exactly the same. But here is where it gets absolutely ridiculous. The average contractor gives up after 2 attempts. 2! So right when the research shows you should be ramping up your follow-up game, you're tapping out. It's like training for a marathon, then quitting at mile 2 because you can't see the finish line. Completely backwards. And this one is even worse. 44% of contractors completely stop following up after one single not interest. One rejection. They are done forever. But here's what the winners understand that losers don't. In most cases, not interest doesn't mean never. It means not right now. Maybe they just had a huge car repair, maybe they're going through a divorce, maybe they're waiting for their insurance settlement. But 6 months from now, when their situation changes, that could be your biggest payday of the year. Meanwhile, and this should terrify you, while you're giving up after 2 pathetic attempts, there are contractors in your exact market using systems that follow up 15, 12, even 30 times over several months. Every single week, your potential customers are getting valuable content from those guys. Helpful tips, success stories, staying top of mind. And guess who they call when they're finally ready to buy? Not you. But before you start thinking this is just about being more persistent, let me show you why your brain is literally working against you here. Now, before you start thinking you are lazy or disorganized or just bad at business, let me explain something important. This isn't really your fault. Your brain is literally designed to work against you in this situation. First, you forget. And I don't mean you have a bad memory. I mean you're human. You've got customers calling with emergencies, jobs to finish, estimates to write, employees to manage, bills to pay. Your brain can only juggle so many things, and following up with a lead from 2 weeks ago isn't going to win the battle against a customer whose roof is actively leaking. Second, you get busy doing actual work, which is good. You should be focused on delivering great service. But here is the cruel irony. The best time to reach prospect is usually when you are busiest. Middle of the day, when they are also working, but you can't take sales calls when you're 20 feet up on a ladder. And this is the big one that nobody talks about. You take rejection personally. When someone says not interest or just ignores your calls, a little part of your brain interprets that as personal rejection. Even though you know logically it's just business, it still stings. So your subconscious starts avoiding those uncomfortable calls. Fourth, you assume silence means they are not interested. But think about your own phone for a second. How many calls did you ignore this week? How many texts are you meaning to respond to but forgot? Your customers are the same way. Silence usually just means busy, not uninterested. And finally, you are inconsistent. Some leads get your full attention, others slip through the cracks. It's not intentional, you are just human. But inconsistency kills conversion rates. So, while you're fighting against your own brain, do you know what the top performers figured out? They took themselves completely out of the equation. And what they discovered is going to change everything for you. Here's what the guys making serious money figured out. They took themselves out of the follow-up equation. Not because they are lazy, but because they are smart. They use systems that never forget. Not because robots are better than humans, but because consistency beats talent when talent isn't consistent. While you're dealing with the crisis of the day, the system is nurturing every single lead. These systems work 24/7. That lead who finally decides they're ready to move forward at 11 p.m. on a Sunday, the system responds immediately. Your competitor who's sleeping, he misses out. They don't take anything personally. Not interested. Doesn't hurt the system feelings. It just means try a different angle in 2 weeks. No emotions, no ego, every single lead gets the exact same proven sequence. Your best follow-up strategy gets applied to every lead, every time. No more wondering if you did everything you could. And they scale infinitely. Whether you get 10 leads this month or 100, every single one gets the same level of attention. But here's where it gets really crazy. When you see these numbers, you're going to understand why some contractors are making 5 times more than others with the exact same leads. Let me show you what this looks like in real numbers. Because this is where it gets insane. Let's say you got 100 leads a month, with if you are spending 3,000 on ads, it's probably about right. With manual follow-up, you're probably making 2 to 3 attempts per lead before moving on. Industry average conversion rate for that level of follow-up, about 5%. So you are booking maybe 5 jobs out of 100 leads. If your average job is 5,000, you are making 25,000 from those leads. Not bad, but remember you spent 3,000 to get them. So your ROI is about 8 to 1. But what if I told you there is a way to make 4 to 5 times more money from the exact same leads? What if you could follow up with all 100 leads consistently over several months? What if every lead got 15 plus valuable touchpoints? The same research shows conversion rates jump to 20 to 25%. Now you are booking 20 to 25 jobs instead of 5. Same leads, same ad spend, same everything. But now you are making 100 to 125,000 instead of 25,000. That's 4 to 5 times more revenue from the exact same investment. That's an extra 75 to $100,000 per year just from following up properly with leads you're already getting. But it gets worse, because manual follow-up isn't just leaving money on the table. It's actually costing you way more than you think. Here is what most people don't realize. Manual follow-up isn't just inefficient. It's expensive as hell. Time-wise, if you're spending even an hour a day on manual follow-up, calling, texting, leaving voicemails, tracking who you called when, that's 5 hours a week, 20 hours a month. That's half a week of work every month just on follow-up. But the real cost is opportunity cost. Every lead you don't convert properly is money left on the table. If you are only converting 5% instead of 25%, you are basically throwing away $75,000 every year. That's a truck payment, a vacation, your kid's college fund. And then there is the stress. You know that nagging feeling that you should be following up with leads, but you are too busy. That's mental energy you could be using to grow your business or enjoy your life. Plus, slow follow-up makes you look small time. When a lead fills out your form and gets an immediate helpful response from your competitor but has to wait hours or days to hear from you, who do you think they perceive as more professional? So here's how the winners actually handle this, And once you see this system, you will never want to go back to chasing leads manually. Here's how the top performers actually handle this. And once you see this, you will never want to go back to manual follow-up. Lead comes in. System immediately sends a personalized message. Not generic, personalized based on what they actually inquired about. If they asked about roof repair, it mentioned roof repair. If they mentioned storm damage, it referenced that. It feels human because it's specific to their situation. If they respond, great, the conversation continues naturally. If they don't, the system waits a few days and tries a different angle. Maybe a helpful tip, maybe a case study of someone with a similar problem, maybe a limited time offer. Always valuable, never pushy. This continues for months, not annoying daily messages, strategic touchpoints, weekly check-ins, monthly offers, seasonal reminders. The system never forgets about them, never gets tired, never takes rejections personally. And when they finally respond and want to move forward, the system immediately books them into your calendar. No phone tag, no back and forth emails. They pick a time that works for them. It goes straight into your schedule. The beauty is in the patience. Will you would have given up after a week, the system keeps nurturing that relationships. I've seen leads convert 6 months after their initial inquiry because the system never stopped providing value. So now you have a choice, and this choice is going to determine whether you join the winners or stay with the losers. Look, here's the reality. Every day you delay this, your competition gets further ahead. While you're manually calling leads who don't answer, they are building relationships with hundreds of prospects automatically. You can keep doing what you are doing. Keep spending hours on manual follow-up. Keep converting 5% of your leads. Keep wondering why your competitor seems to book all the good jobs. Keep losing. Or you can evolve. You can join the guys who figured out that the money is in the follow-up and the follow-up is in the system. You can forex on conversion rates, work less, stress less, and make more. You can stop chasing leads and start attracting customers. I'll be honest with you, most people won't do this. They will watch this video, think that makes sense, and then go right back to manually chasing leads. Because change is hard, even when you know it's right. But if you are different, if you are tired of working harder instead of smarter, if you want to join the top 1% who let system do the heavy lifting while they focus on what they do best, then click the link. We will show you exactly how to set this up for your business, but I'm only working with people who are serious about growth, not just curious. The choice is yours. Keep chasing leads manually and watch your competition pull ahead, or let automation turn those leads into customers while you focus on delivering great work. What's it going to be? Are you going to keep acting like a loser, or are you ready to join the winners? The system is waiting. Your competition isn't.